Aloha. I am Mary. I am a retired wildlife biologist, a sprite of the forest. I live in Alaska and Hawaii, the most beautiful places on the planet. And I am here to teach you how to access your own divine wisdom. I was called to do this morning by a Lemurian high priestess named Tabitha, and I was channeling her. She encouraged me to reach out and connect with all of you so that we could all learn to create a new paradise on our planet. So since this is my intro video, I want to just share a few steps about my process. The first thing I do is do this in the morning because I am more fresh and aware when I'm just getting up. The second thing I like to do, because it turns on my meditations, is get a little cup of coffee. And I drink the coffee as I listen to some of my spiritual teachers. Those include Sirius Joy, Christopher Witecki, Jimmy at The Great Awakener, and the Tarot Ship with Jimmy. I'll tag these below. And those kind of set the tone for my day. And as the coffee kicks in, then I put on a Hemi-Sync meditation in my earphones. It goes back and forth. Oh, I wish you could hear it. You can't now, but I'll show you. Anyway, I put on that meditation and I sit back to meditate. And I'm not a super expert meditator. I've done it for about 15 years from the point at which my youngest child ended up being born almost prematurely at 31 weeks. So I had to spend 6 weeks on bed rest, and I'm a pretty active, very active person. So my friend handed me a meditation app called Insight Timer, and I spent that 6 weeks in a hospital bed learning hypnobirthing and learning that I really could control the outcome of my birth in a positive way for both my child and I. And yeah, it started a meditation practice that I don't do it every day, but it's been pivotal in my spiritual growth to spend this time connecting with your higher source, with source. But we are all like actually creations of source. And so by virtue of that, we have the ability to connect. And if we connect with source very intentionally and quietly, and by listening, then we can get divine guidance to build what we want on this planet. And I think at this point in time, we all need to be doing that because there's a lot of crazy going on out there. So we need to be calm in here so we can all work together to create what we want on Earth. So that's basically my process, and my plan for this channel is to actually channel Tabitha. I have a PhD in science. I can tell you how crazy this sounds to me. But through my spiritual journey, I've also gotten deep into astrology and more learning about metaphysics. I grew up very Catholic. My dad was a brother, my mom was a nun in the Catholic Church. So I grew up with that spiritual basis, but I also had a very strong visceral reaction to church, which I was forced to go to every Sunday. I hated it. I mean, from the get-go. And as I got older, I knew I could articulate my problems with it more, which are that, hey, I'm a woman, I'm a girl. Why can't I be a priest? Why can't I be up on that altar? What do you mean I don't have power and I have to just listen to you? Because let me tell you, I am not a subservient kind of gal. So, and I, turned away from the church, kind of ignored religion, went heavy into science, which I was very, very good at. And so I spent, 30-year career doing science professionally. And luckily I was able to be in the field of wildlife biology, toxicology, biogeochemistry, data analytics toward the end of my career. Mapping and math is what I told people I did for a living. But it's so great because, and then I just was so bored. They gave me the out. I took the out. So now I'm reinventing myself too, is what I want to be. And who I essentially am, I think, who I came here to be, which is an artist and a creator and a communicator and a teacher, but on different topics relating to how to make this world a better place in the human context, because humans are absolutely pivotal. So I've been given this gift this morning of connection with Tabitha, and probably you won't see me sitting, you know, in this chair. Maybe you will, I don't know. I usually do it downstairs by the fire in a comfy chair too. You need to be really comfy. And then you just need to sit, and you need to be willing to feel. Feeling is critical. You need to be willing to feel, at least the way I channel. And everybody has a different way of channeling, right? Like what I've learned is I'm an empath. And so spirits come into me as like a feeling. Like I can tell, okay, I want to like turn this way. That's a male energy. I want to turn this way. That's a female energy. And that's kind of my first clue of who is coming in. And then I'm using methods of Camille Moritz. I'll put a link to her book below. She's not on YouTube, but she's a very powerful healer, also in Alaska and Hawaii. And what she talks about in her book, or I've had sessions with her too, where you feel your feelings when the spirit comes in, whether you see them, hear them, feel them, however that works for you. Everybody has different ways to access spirit. That's what makes us all magical creatures. When they come in, I ask them, okay, how many events do I need to know about? Usually a number will pop into mind. That's the number. And then for me, they show me through feelings, and then I'll get into like, okay, where are we? So you can actually have dialogue with these energies when they come in to you. Like ask the question. They're going to answer. It's a little crazy, but it's, I don't know. I can't tell you how it works. It's like tarot. I do tarot. Can't tell you how it works. PhD in science, can't tell you how it works. Same with astrology. I'm really into astrology. It is eerie how well somebody's natal chart explains their reason for being on this planet. So hit me up if you have questions about that. I'll put my email in the description box below too, because I do tarot readings, personal tarot readings, personal natal chart readings, which I can do on Zoom or in person if you're in one of my places. And yeah, and I'm an artist. You can check out my art. I'm getting into metal art, which is pretty fun. I'm at the Artery Girdwood AK on Instagram, and I'll put that below. But that's who I am, and that's my plan for this channel, and I'm excited. I don't know how often I'll be able to do this with everything else I got going on in my life, but yeah, I also have a VRBO. I'll put that in the link below. Please book it so that I can continue to offer spiritual guidance for free. Okay, mahalo nui loa. Bye.